Dream, search, drive. Cars.co.za.
We got the parts.
I got the part.
I got the part.
When it comes to finding the right part at the right price, there's just no place like Midas for the love of cars.
Dawie Joubert, 3.9 litre V8, 570. Listen to it.
The hill climb is actually very daunting because you know you have to go as fast as you can, but you also know if you do something wrong that it might be catastrophic. So getting away on the line is actually the easy part, and it's quite straight, and then you have to the first right-hander that comes up. So you tap off and you do brake. We actually do brake hard there, and then from there on it's rather flat that you go onto the top. The speed that we get to the top is just over 220 kilometers an hour before we have to brake to start going left.
Oh, listen to that thing screaming up the hill.
And then from there, you have to hang on to the car to make sure that you get to the top in one piece and with a fast time. My name is Dawie Joubert. I race a Lotus Elise Motorsport with a 488 Ferrari engine in it.
Look at that. Joubert now has gone 43.8. That is a very, very good run. So Dawie Joubert in that Lotus Exige of his with a Ferrari engine is second at the moment.
I've been racing since '92, on and off the track. I started racing with drag racing those days. I always wanted more with the handling of the car. So the motor racing on the track was always alluring, and I always wanted to come do that. What happened with the Lotus, I was racing a Fiat X19 at the time. That was a rear-wheel drive car with a Honda engine at the back of it. And then I saw Jeremy Clarkson on a Top Gear clip testing the new Elise. Well, those days it was actually a silver Exige that he tested. And I fell in love with the car, and I thought that, that's a very nice car or platform to have. And lo and behold, a couple of months later, I went to the show at Nasrec, and there was a yellow little Lotus standing there, Exige. So I had to have it. So that's where my Lotus started. That was back in 2000. The moment I got the car, I felt that the handling was very nice, but the power coming from the drag racing, the power was very much needed there in the car because the car could handle it. So that was I first had a Honda B16 in it, which I did the top end run with it. Later on it got a K24 in it, and then we had problems with the gearboxes at the back of the car, the way that it was transfer mounted. And I started investigating making the car longer, making sure that we can get a better gearbox at the back of it. Now today you can actually get a box that works, but those days when I started, which is about 15 years ago, we did not have a box. So that's how it started, that I actually wanted to have a proper gearbox in the car. We had the powertrain, but I didn't have the gearbox. I heard of a Ferrari 488 that crashed about a year ago, and it was lying in South Africa, and there aren't too many of them lying around, so I hunted the car down for about a year. The guy didn't want to sell the car because he was going to fix it himself, but eventually in COVID we got hold of the guy, and he said he would actually part with the car, and I went to buy the car, and when I came back to the house, the car was actually delivered to me in parts because they had stripped the car to start preparing the car. So I had this chassis lying in my garage, and the engine was outside anyway, so I just did a mock setup with it, and I saw it's going to work. So, and then from there, as they say, the rest is history. We fitted it, and it runs actually quite okay at the moment. I love the sound of the Ferrari engine, and it works well. The power delivery is great. and having the paddle shifts there is making the car very enjoyable. It was actually quite amazingly that the Ferrari fitted very easily in the car. By that time I had already done the suspensions and everything else that I wanted the layout for the new setup that we have. So we had to make a new adapter plate for it, which is the bell housing for the gearbox, because it was a different bolt pattern that it had. And basically from there on it was actually quite an easy fit because it's all a standard 488. So the only thing that we had to do is a dry sump tank that we had to put in, and other than that it was actually quite easy. So we brought it up to the guys from Motec, which fitted all the Motec stuff and make sure that it ran okay, and from there on it was plain sailing till now. It makes 571 kilowatts on the wheels at the moment, which is on par what we had before. With the Honda K24 we had about 730 horsepower. It is a little bit heavier, the car, but it handles very well. So the power delivery from the 488 turbo is very smooth and very controllable. I haven't done any upgrades on the motor as such. I believe that they did some upgrades on the turbos before I got the car, but I can't say for that. I haven't done anything as yet. So the suspension, we did inboard suspension front and rear, and Freddie, the guy that helps me with the suspension setup, is busy with making sure that it handles the way that we want it to handle. At the moment we're using a Sadef. I've had a Mendiola before, then I had a Hewland, and at the moment it's a Sadef box that they've actually, the guys came out here from Sadef and they had a look at what we do with the Hillclimb, and they suggested that we take that gearbox that they have at the moment, which is the one that we have currently in the car. We run Avons at the moment, the Tyres, which is 18-inch front and rear, so it's a 10-inch rims in the front, 12-inch at the back. We run AP Racing front and rear, which is the fronts, both are 4-pot calipers, and we have the discs that we have at the moment. I think it's Brembo discs that I have on. I've done circuit racing with it before we fitted the Ferrari. Since the Ferrari engine has been fitted, I have not been back to the track because it came very late last year that we did the Hillclimb, and I wanted to do better with the Hillclimb, so it's been an uphill curve now to get all the parts built for it that we wanted to put on for this Hillclimb coming. So we've got all the parts on at the moment, testing it, and once it's tested, the idea is actually to go back to the track again, but maybe with less aero like it was before.
We got the parts.
I got the part.
I got the part.
When it comes to finding the right part at the right price, there's just no place like Midas for the love of cars.
Do you like clothes? I do. This is available right now on our Sentimental shop. Just go to Cars.co.za/shop or look for the description in the link below. See what I did there? Just trying to catch you out. And we've got tons of exclusive merchandise which is designed and made exclusively for our store. I said exclusive twice because it's very exclusive. Also hats.
Cars.co.za.